What are some of your favorite gaming memories growing up? From any time period. I mean, I have plenty from my whole entire childhood. Like, what are some of the ones that just are just ingrained in your brain?
I think back to then, like playing games.
Mm-hmm.
The first thing that just like pops into my head is Super Mario 64, Mario Kart with my grandfather, GoldenEye with him is like the next big one. I have some memories of like Mario Paint on Super Nintendo. I played that mostly alone. There was this one game, Championship Pool. It's actually the only Super Nintendo game that I still own, that Pop and I used to play religiously because I grew up in a home that did not have the space for a pool table, and there weren't really any pool tables around us, and that's something he really loved, and I grew to love it too, so we played that a lot. But we could never get past the second stage in the fucking tournament. Dude, and
that was the same thing with me. Is like our house, there was no chance of ever having a pool table. But the worst part was I had friends that had pool tables. So when I would go over to their house, I'd be like, "Yes, let's play pool. Let's play pool. I want to play pool." They never wanted to play pool, and I'm just like, "What are you doing? Like, it's the coolest thing ever."
so funny thing, like building on that memory, my grandparents moved, I guess it was early, like 2003, 2004. That's when we came up here. And in 2006, for Christmas, I did get him a pool table in his basement.
You got him a pool table.
I got him a pool table. It was red felt. It was like mahogany. And that pool table, when he wound up in a nursing home, became mine. You know, he
That's
told
the
me
one that you have in.
had.
Oh, okay.
I wound up letting it go because it, you know, the basement had flooded, I think twice at that point, and I was like, if I just leave this down here, it's only going to wind up getting messed up.
Yeah, I guess that
and we
makes
didn't
sense.
really play it. Like for me, every time I went to go play it, it was like, who am I playing? And then I would think about the nights that we all just would get together and play, me, him, and the neighbor. And I was like, you know, I'm not really into this anymore. So, but yeah, so I wound up getting him a pool table. And he had his pool table until he couldn't use it, and then I think it was a guy got it. This guy picked it up for his kids, his two sons. So
That's cool.
that's where it belongs.
Yeah, like there are some people that hold on to things for the sentimental value or whatever, and they never use it, and it's just like they're kind of holding on to that like memory and like the physical. But there are some people that can actually let it go to like a good home, knowing that it's going to be enjoyed and loved and played or what have you, and like that's a cool thing, you know, especially like I'm a pretty sentimental guy to an extent, but when you like if I'm getting rid of something and I know it's going to somebody who's like really excited about it, or it's going to a guy who's going to give it to his kids or something like that. Like I've had plenty of little like Facebook Marketplace deals where I've sold stuff and you know, they tell me like, oh, it's a surprise for my son for Christmas or something like that. I'm like, oh yeah, like that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
awesome.
before I forget to say this story, I bought a Halo 4 Xbox 360 one time on Marketplace, and the story that this guy had was so touching. So I saw it on Marketplace. You know, I gave an offer, and they were like, yeah, we'll take that. So I went to pick it up, and I met him somewhere, and the guy had it in a box, and he goes, yeah, he's like, it's a really exciting day for me today. I was like, oh, you know, what's going on? What happened? And he goes, so me and my wife could never have kids, and they were fostering this kid ever since he was, I think, 8 or 9. I think he was now like 16 or something like that, and they were finally able to adopt him, like, legally. So he's like, we just got back from signing all the paperwork and stuff, and the Xbox that I was buying was that kid's Xbox, and he had that from all of the times that he was going to different foster homes and when he was at theirs. So he was selling it because he was getting a new Xbox as like a gift for finally reaching this big milestone. And I was like, wow, that is incredible. Like, that was just a story, just buying like a simple Xbox 360 that I did not expect. He told me like the whole backstory. I was like, oh my God, like.
Did you still get the Xbox?
Yeah, I bought it.
You didn't just give it to him?
No, I bought it from him.
Right, and then give it right back to him and say, here, this belongs with you. No, I'm just kidding. That is awesome, though.
Yeah, it was really, really cool. But anyway, back to
no, I get the
gaming.
sentiment. Yeah, I mean, so like most of it's the N64 era, because for me that was like the 7-8-year-old me.
Mm-hmm.
For whatever reason, my memories before that time period are, mostly more sparse. The other memory that comes back is going over to my neighbor's house and playing Paperboy. I used to pester the shit out of him. He was probably early 20s, lived there with his girlfriend. And he was a Pizza Hut delivery driver for the Pizza Hut down the road. This was in Finksburg, Maryland. Mm-hmm. So I don't even know if that Pizza Hut's still there. Damn good pizza.
Dude, if you get sloshed and get some Pizza Hut, oh man,
you don't even need to be sloshed for Pizza Hut, man. I can tell you.
I was never big because their pizza was always too saucy, and I didn't really care for it.
That's what I love.
But the one time we were somewhere and I got just blitzed, and we ordered Pizza Hut, and when we got home, it was just like eating pizza, and I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
Another big gaming memory for me is much later, actually. I guess I was like 18, 19. I spent a lot of time over at my girlfriend's house at the time, and she had a little brother. And I remember like this one weekend I was over there, I took my PS3 over, and we were playing Guitar Hero just all freaking weekend. Just like, just trading the guitar around the room. And it's just, next thing you know, it's like 3 o'clock, and her mom's like, will you all shut the fuck up? And we're like, turn it up.
Anything else that sticks out to you?
I'm thinking. I mean, GTA.
Which one?
Not 2. I guess it would be 3, because that was the PS2.
Mm-hmm.
This was PS2 era.
Yep.
There was one kid in the neighborhood who got it before everybody else, and we would all go over there, and the stuff that we would do in that game, like, should not have been. I mean, for context, the ages that we should not have had that game, but we did, and like that poor girl. I can't get into that.
For me,
get a car in GTA 3. Get a car, drive around, pull up to a questionable looking person, let them get in the car,
drive to a secluded area.
It's so messed up. You shouldn't put that in the game.
Yeah, for me, I remember playing, the original Mario. I got my Nintendo when I was 3. So that's core memory, and playing Duck Hunt. My mom playing Yoshi Cookie. That's a cool, like, because we had the Nintendo in my parents' room, and there's a video of me and my brother when I was playing Mario, and then they moved it to my sister's room in the opposite end of the house. So
You just unlocked a freaking memory.
so my mom would play Yoshi Cookie.
Yoshi,
Mm-hmm.
hold that thought before I forget. What was the game for Super Nintendo with the gun?
The Super Scope.
Yes. I got a Super Scope for Christmas. And it didn't frickin' work. On Christmas Day. Like, they were notorious for that, weren't they? Being dog crap?
I never messed with the Super Scope at all. I don't think I ever had one. I always wanted one, I think, but I don't think I ever had one.
Yeah, I never got a replacement. Whoever it was, they just returned it and said, fuck that kid. But continue. So, wait, Yoshi Cookie?
It's like the puzzle game. Yoshi is like off to the side, and there's like little cookies that fall down, and you have to swap them to put them in a row, and it's kind of like pseudo Tetris, like same kind of concept, but with cookies, and like you can rotate them in different ways. So she played that a lot. Huh?
Did your mom bake a lot?
No. It was just like a puzzle game that she...
Did you bake a lot?
No. So there was that. Then the Super Nintendo, I remember playing Chrono Trigger, Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country. I remember playing Donkey Kong Country 2 at my sister's in-laws' house with their daughter, who was older than me. We played that. Then Sega, I remember playing Altered Beast, Earthworm Jim, Toe Jam and Earl. I played some games with my nieces and nephews, and I played with my aunt's husband at the time. There's pictures of that somewhere. Then there's the N64, where I played Super Mario 64 with my cousin, which is my aunt's daughter. I remember playing that there.
No shit, Sherlock.
That's when I talk about cousins, like the only cousins that I really talk about is that cousin, because I don't communicate with any other cousins.
Gotcha. It's not like West Virginia cousins.
No, definitely not.
Okay. Me and Pop used to rent Beavis and Butthead on Sega. He used to rent it. I played it, but he rented it. He actually took me to see Do America in theaters.
Oh, hell yeah.
When it came out, I think I was 8 years old or something.
I remember WrestleMania 2000 on the N64 when I got hit by a car. I got
the black cartridge.
Yep, I got to sit in my dad's chair in the living room and play it on the big screen, and it was prime time for that.
They let you sit in your dad's chair?
Mm-hmm. I didn't have a choice. It was like the only convenient spot for me to sit at the time, because it was when I just got back from the hospital and I was still in a full leg cast. Then they when I got to the half leg cast, I was able to go back in my bedroom, and I had a water bed, and I had a Rottweiler who was like my dog. Well, I was laying in bed with my leg stretched out. She went to climb up on the bed and laid on my leg. I just remember screaming so loud because it hurt so bad. And my dog, that dog, dude, that dog was so important to me. When she couldn't hop up on my bed anymore to sleep in my bed, I laid on the floor with her until my parents had to take her to get put down. But anyway, then No Mercy and renting No Mercy, and the WCW games from Blockbuster.
I had a thought and I lost it.
Very little Ocarina of Time. I think I played that
You
later.
have an Ocarina?
No. Later in my life, I played that game.
Later in my life.
Final Fantasy VII.
At all of 33.
Final Fantasy VII for the PS1. I remember playing Excite Bike on the NES. That was another key one.
I have that somewhere.
The WWE or the WWF games for the PS1, like Attitude and Just Bring It,
Attitude,
the SmackDown games,
Need for Speed, Porsche Unleashed,
Gran
Turismo,
Yep, Gran
Crash
Turismo,
Bandicoot, Spyro the
Crash,
Dragon,
Spyro.
Fantavision was actually PS2, wasn't it?
Yeah, that might have been on PS1.
No, it was PS2. Siphon Filter 1, 2, and 3 were on PS1. Siphon Filter was my shit.
The obvious, like, I remember when I first played Resident Evil, I was at my friend Andrew's house, and his dad actually had the copy, and we took it from him to play it.
Siphon Filter?
Resident Evil.
Oh.
And Resident Evil 2, when my parents got me that one was very key to my growing up. Very key. Resident Evil 3 as well. I remember Dino Crisis. Like PS1,
Can we just say the whole damn series and get it over with?
I played very heavily on the PS1. I like the Dino Crisis games because that's when I was like early teens.
You remember Test Drive 5?
Yes.
With the Blue Viper?
Yes.
And the Hummer?
Yeah. Oh, hi, Ellie. I didn't know you were down here.
I think I beat Siphon Filter 2 on my way to Hershey Park.
Oh, because you had the screen.
I did. I had the portable screen for the PlayStation that had the cigarette lighter adapter.
Oh, dude, I would have killed for that.
And yeah, I was very fortunate. Well, so I actually the original PlayStation I had was like the initial
like the big gray one, yeah.
Big gray one.
Mm-hmm.
I actually traded that in for the smaller one, the PS1,
yep.
like ONE.
Yep.
Because that's what I needed for the screen, and then I got the screen, and I forget what the hell. I think the screen was like 140 freaking bucks. But
I remember playing Super Mario Land 2, and the Pokemon games. There's a specific memory I remember. Me, my friend Andrew, my friend Derek, who was Andrew's cousin, and Derek's little brother Nate, we all played Pokemon on our Game Boy Advances, but we were outside of Andrew's house, which was my neighbor. We were all playing our Game Boy Advances, and Derek had Emerald, and I was so jealous that he had Emerald because I wanted Emerald, but I had Sapphire, and Andrew had Ruby, so we all had like all 3 different ones so we could trade. So that's a pretty key memory. I remember when me and Andrew would play RuneScape.
Dude, we're done.
Listen, like, this was before Discord was even a thing.
You remember EB Games?
Yes. This was before Discord existed or any voice chats. We would, when you were able to talk on the phone, like, and be on the internet at the same time, we would talk on landlines and have it on speakerphone and just sit it on the desk, and we would talk to each other as we like skilled or when we would do quests at the same time, so we'd like be there. Dude, it like those are some of like the key memories to me, is like playing old school, or what would be now old school RuneScape with Andrew talking on the landline.
See how old you really are. Did you ever buy a yo-yo from EB Games?
Probably. I had the X-Brain.
I have an X-Brain somewhere.
I had the butterfly. It was like the red, like really like wide.
Yep, the Duncan.
Yeah.
I have actually Adelaide now has my Omega Firestorm from when I was a kid.
Yes. I don't have any of those.
It does not sleep anymore.
I wish it
did. It does not sleep anymore. I'm like, watch me walk the dog. Oh shit, this is Tangled.
The Guitar Hero games, me and my friends played those religiously. I remember when we were just being stupid kids, we'd be down in my friend Niles' basement, and me and Eric would be on the Guitar Hero controllers, and we just didn't care about anything. So we'd be like pretending we were like playing a show or whatever, and we'd take off the instrument and like throw it across the room or like break it or something. And just
Hey, do you have any old
kids.
Xboxes?
What, like 360s?
Any?
I have 360s. Yeah.
Do they work?
Yeah.
You have any that don't work?
Yeah.
You want to have some fun with it?
Like how?
I got a baseball bat at home.
Then Halo, obviously. Then Call of Duty. Those were
Call of Duty was mine.
prime for my friend group at those times.
I actually went out and bought a TV just for Call of Duty because the CRT wasn't cutting it while I was trying to do that on PS3, and I was like, I need to do this. I spent like $600 on a 26-inch TV.
Yeah, so those are some of my, like, I have those kinds of memories from, and then when I first got Skyrim.
When you first got what?
When I first got Skyrim, when it was on 360. The Elder
the
Scrolls
game.
Skyrim.
I thought you were talking about something
I
else.
wasn't even the one that chose to pick it up. We saw a trailer or something, and Alicia actually said it looked pretty good, and I didn't have money to get it because I was broke, being a young teen. So I traded in a bunch of games, and I just had enough to get the game and the strategy guide. So I got that, and I played these.
You got the strategy guide for Skyrim?
I still do.
What the hell is wrong with you?
What?
Dude, we're in the age of the internet. There's entire sites dedicated to that.
Nothing beats having a nice, like, old-fashioned strategy guide.
It is nice.
But I digress.
Did I ever tell you the story of how I wound up with my PlayStation gamer tag?
Ween Train?
Okay. Yep, that's it. W33 and train.
Well, you didn't have to spell it out for people, but
well, they know. They know what's coming. The train is coming. No, I was over at Brandon's apartment with AZ,
mm-hmm.
and we were playing. He had just gotten PS4, and I had to go to the bathroom, and they were like setting up the accounts and everything. I was like, "Yeah, make me one. I'll be right out." I did not mean finish making me one. I meant like start and not to pick my name. Yeah, that was bestowed upon me. I had no choice. I got back out and I was like, "What the hell is this?" They're like, it's your gamer tag, bro. I'm like, Ween Train.
You know you can change that, right?
It's like $20.
Not anymore.
Oh, you can change those?
Yeah, you get like a free one.
Well, yeah, I would have used. Oh, you get one free change?
No, it's like every so often you get a free one.
I did not know that. I thought it was still like $20. To this day, I was like, No, I'll just like.
It hasn't been $20 in a very long time.
Eventually, I just got used to it. I would hop on Fortnite and like we'd all be, like mic'd up with the headsets and everything, and we'd be going in on the battle bus, and I'd be like, "Y'all ready to get fucked by the Ween Train?" It's like I'm the guy that's gonna get like banned.